Welcome to Motivated Entrepreneurs. No, it's not Motivated Entrepreneurs. That's my other podcast. Oh, God blimey. If anybody does want a daily slice of Dean, as if you do, but if you do, then I've got a podcast called Motivated Entrepreneurs. I've done 600 and some episodes, and I just have a takeaway, a business takeaway, a life takeaway, because I obviously love reading, listening to podcasts, etc. So I give a daily takeaway. Ultimately, do you know what I do it for? I do it for my kids because in my head, I don't know why I'm even talking about this. I basically got it in my head a few years ago that what happens if I die and all this knowledge that I feel like I learn, and I don't mean knowledge as in, oh, look at me, knowledge. I just feel like I went on a journey from losing. I had a coffee shop and it went and a restaurant and it was horrible. Lost over six figures. And I thought that I was better in business than I was. And it was a real humbling. And ever since that point, I wanted to be just learn and educate and listen and know that I know nothing. And I know that every single person out there I can learn something from, whether it's a homeless man in the street to the CEO of a public limited company. I can learn something from every single person. I can learn something from my kids. And so I wanted to take that mindset and I literally try to document something every single day that I learn that I want to pass on to my kids. And all of a sudden I thought, what am I going to do with this big sheet of paper that I've got of all these documents, and I can't pass them on because they're only, 3 years old at the time, or 5 years old. How the hell are they? So anyway, I started a podcast and I just, between 2 and 6, 7 minutes, and I just and I give a daily takeaway or something. So I've done 600 and odd episodes now. So Motivated Entrepreneurs, check it out. It's for my kids, and it's basically for life lessons and stuff that I would have found useful. It's something that when I'm listening to, I think, and then when I think, I literally write it down and then I put it on the podcast. I don't do the but I do everything else. Right. Okay. So that being said, today is monthly figures. So I know it's pretty late in the month, but we had some episodes that we wanted to get out there. And so at the minute, I think it's the 13th of October when this is due to come out. So how was September for us? Bearing in mind that regular listeners will know we have took an absolute battering in October, which meant that we had changing some things up in terms of how we do things. I don't know why I'm doing that. If you're watching it on YouTube or LinkedIn, I'm like a roller coaster. No, a choo-choo train. Anyway, I'm doing that with my hands. So yeah, we're changing things up in terms of dynamic pricing, but obviously I will do an episode and update because I want to document everything that we do and how we go about it. And we believe it or not, we've just done a deep dive into the move outs because we've had, and again, this will be future episodes, but we've done a deep dive because it was 2,500 square foot that moved out last week. And obviously, because we've been aggressive on our prices, we wanted to see because everybody says they're not moving out because of a price increase, but nobody will ever tell you they're moving out for a price increase, or very, very few people. But so we wanted to have a look with the data because we've got a report that we can tell when every single person had the last increase, and we can amalgamate it all together. And it's a nice, tidy little report, and we can see who and when they had a price increase and when they left. And it turns out that most of them didn't have a price increase at all. So they're just leaving because of leaving. There was due a price increase in about a month's time, but they left before we could even give them a price increase. And they didn't even know the letter was sent out or anything. So it was nothing to do with the bloody aggressiveness of our prices, which is mental. So it's just been unlucky. We've been unlucky in this last week. Anyway, that's October. This is September. We're talking about September. So 260 quotes. We've had quotes per day of 8.67. Number of reservations, 66. So again, when you look at these figures, because it's very, very, I always say it's very, very hard to look at your own business objectively. If I was looking at this and saying, my price is too dear, I'd be like, well, your conversions are 27% from quotes to reservations. Your conversions quotes to move-ins are 21%. So don't get me wrong, it could be better. We want to be 30% for conversions, but we accept that. 30, quotes to reservations is 27%. That's okay. 21% from quotes to move-ins. Again, it's not too bad when you get in such high numbers as well at the minute. Unusually high numbers. I don't think that's particularly bad. Yes, we want to be hitting 25%, but ultimately it's not too bad. So I would say that you're in the Goldilocks zone. But because we are emotional about your business, you're emotional about your business, I'm emotional about my business, then we question things. And so we question things probably more. That's why I know that I will be a better operator the more sites I have, because I know that I dive too deep into the weeds on occasions. Because why? Because I've only got one site that's in fill up stage. The Beverly site, I don't really have to do anything with it because it's full. And I can't wait for Cliff Road to open. I can't wait for it because then it'll take I won't have to meddle so much in Stormwater. And I'm only meddling because I've got the time to do so. So yeah, the more sites I have, the better operator I will be, without a question, without a shadow of a doubt. So people have been questioning me saying, how will you manage 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 sites quite comfortably, quite easily? I enjoy looking at the reports. I know I can see straight away what the problem is. If I wasn't emotionally connected to the business, I can tell you what the problem is, and I can tell you how to change things up. Play me on trumpet here, but that sounds like I am. But when it's my own business, then I meddle too much in anything. How are we answering the phone? I'm thinking, oh, for God's sake, just look at the figures, and the figures will tell you if you need to do a deep dive or not. Anyway, moving on. So we had 66 reservations, which was a percentage quotes to reservations of 27%, which is okay. And we had 55 move-ins, which was a 21% conversion rate from quotes to move-ins. So could be a little bit better, but it's acceptable. Cancelled reservations. Interesting. We had 15 cancelled reservations. Now, we have had a meeting about this today, and we are streamlining our forward moving process. We're making it easier to do a forward moving, and I've said that we accept no less than 50% forward movings. We've dropped the ball on it, and we want to improve. And so forward movings will definitely help the cancelled and expired reservations. The reason being is the more time that somebody invests into a moving process, into the reservation, the less likely they are to move out. So listen to that again. The more time somebody invests into the reservation, the more details they give is the more investment they are putting in. And the more investment they are putting in, the less likely they are to cancel. It is simple psychological makeup of people. So we need to make sure that we ask them to invest a little bit more time with us. And we're the leaders, by the way. We lead the customer. Don't let the customer lead you. And so when someone has a reservation, you just simply ask, okay, just need a couple of minutes of your time just to fill out this form. We just need to do some paperwork. And the more information they give us, then the more likely they are to come in. Stands to reason. So we want to get that down. That is too much. So 15 cancelled reservations and expired reservations are 3. So yeah, let's have a look. I just want to check something out. Because I'll tell you what, I'll pause it and I'll check something out and I'll tell you what I'm checking out when we come back. 1 second. And I'm back. So all I wanted to do there was just clarify, just to make sure we've got our percentages right. So 15 cancelled reservations was 22.73%, so 23%. And we had 4.55. So let's round up to 5. So we had 28% of our reservations cancelled or expired. So apparently what I've heard is from different sources is the big boys expect a third of their reservations not to turn up. I think that is too much, way too much. You need to look at your sales process. You need to look at how you're reserving. Are you pushing people too far, too quickly? Because you can push people too quickly to a reservation when they're not quite ready as well. And so, yeah, got to be careful. So for me, anyway, we want to be below 15% there. Below 15%, definitely. Right. So marketing. So Google, number of inquiries from Google was 185. That was 71% of our overall inquiries. It was 60% of our move-ins, and it was 61% of the square foot that we moved in was from Google. Word of mouth was 30 inquiries. It was 12% of our inquiries. Let's round it up. And that was 18% of our overall move-ins. It was 16% of our square footage. Signs was 9.62. So 10% of our overall inquiries. That's 25 inquiries. And it was 13% of our overall move-ins, but it was 14% of our overall square footage. Beverly 24. It was 2% of our overall inquiries. It was 2% of our overall move-ins, but it was 3% of our square foot moved in. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. I apologize if I am. I'm trying to dissect this information when I'm reading it as well. Used before was 4. So that was 2% of our overall inquiries. And that accounted for 2% of our overall move-ins and just 1% of the square footage. Social bloody media, bloody hell. Social media was 6. That was 2% of our overall inquiries. I'm rounding up and down here, folks. And that was 4% of our overall move-ins and 3% of our square footage that moved in. Removals apparently got 175 square foot. I've got a note here as well. Okay, so this is so important. I've been talking to somebody today about Google ad spend, and my simple reaction to people who cap it is, what the hell are you doing? Don't cap your Google ad spend, you nutters, unless you can't afford it. And the reason you don't cap it is, if you know your numbers, don't bloody cap it. So if you're putting £100 into a machine, it's giving you £700 out, and then you say, oh, do you know what? I've had enough this month. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm capping it at 10 transactions. Why? You would never do that in real life. So why would you do that with ad spend? Just allow it to keep on going, because the more you put in, the more you get out. And if you're getting a positive return on investment, and you should know your numbers, the cost to acquire a customer and your lifetime value of a customer, if you know that the acquisition cost for a customer is less than the lifetime value of a customer, you are winning. Yes, I know, because somebody questioned me about this. I know that it's all about cash flow. Sometimes you can't afford it because it might take 10 months to get that money. Yes, I get it. But what I like to look at is how much money you're going to get back within a 3-month period. I'm 3xing my money within a 3-month period. How much are you doing? I'm a 300% return in 3 months. So why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't I do it? Of course I'm going to do it. And so you just need to know your numbers. So for me, the cost to acquire a customer was £128.36 using Google. £128.36. My cost per customer is over £850. It goes up all the time because we're a more mature site, but at some point you've got to cut it off because you can't have them people in 5 years and 6 years because it distorts the figures. I understand that. So let's just say it's going to be around about, when we hit maturity, it's going to be around about £1,000, or say it's 800 quid, £128 put in, £800 I get out. But in the first 3 months, I get, well, actually I don't know because we've got half price offer back on. So I don't quite get that. But it's definitely over 2x times your money in 3 months. And then the rest of it, great stuff. So first of all, know your numbers, know your acquisition cost, and know how much you are, how much lifetime value of a customer is. And then if your acquisition cost is less than your lifetime value of a customer, or 3-month period, if you want to make sure the cash flow is not a problem, then put more in. Don't cap it. Don't cap it. Don't cap it. Please don't cap it. Why would you cap it? I'm stopping going to that machine that's giving me, a 300%, 400%, 500% return. Stupid. You do it. The cost per square foot as well. I like to know this figure as well. 1.17. Really good month on ad spend. Really good month. Well worth it. So £1, 17 pence for ad spend. Right. Let's have a quick word from our sponsor. All right, so we had 55 new customers. That was £5,940. Square foot moved in was 6,790 altogether. So new square foot was 5,940 and square foot moved in was 6,790. And we had square foot moved out of 5,945, which means we're a positive 845. Amount of rooms moved in was 67. Amount of rooms moved out were 78. So we lost 11 rooms. We've got 367 internal rooms occupied. Containers in, 10. Containers out, 2. We've got 8 up, net 8 for the month, which means we're at 37 containers at the end of September. When I say containers, they include external units. We've got some 40 foots, 80 foots, and 160 foots. So they're not all 160s. Car parking, we've basically had one person move out, and so we've got 12 car parking spaces. We're going to ask somebody else to move out as well. So we're going to have 11 soon because we're going to put more containers in instead of car parking. Total store occupancy is 32,635, which means we're 85% full. FYI, we're no longer 85% full. We are 80% full, and we expect another week. I'm recording this on the 11th of October. We're expecting another bad week, so we'll be under 80%. Oh, I hate saying that. Don't worry, we've got a plan. So we'll be back in the 80s very, very soon. Right, lock sales. Number of conversions, we had 34, which is a 62% conversion rate. Total packaging was 842. Very poor for packaging material, £842. Average sales per moving was £15.33. Again, pretty poor there. True period revenue was £72,325. It was £4,448 less than the previous month. And that's because we lost a lot of square footage the previous month in this quarter. I'm doing quarterly figures as well, guys, as well for next week. And so, yeah, we've had a poor quarter in terms of square footage. And in September, there's one less day than there is in August. So that obviously impacts us. Let's have a look. The actual revenue, including VAT, you don't really need to know that because VAT. The amount of insurance sold is £336,000, and we had an average of £5,013. So yeah, that's good. Oh no, that's including car parks. God knows why we include car parks. What? Average sold this month for new movings only. So it was average of £6,109. So that's good. Transit versus Luton. Transit was rented out 14 times. How much was the Luton rented out? I don't know what that is. 23. So 47 overall, and we took van rental revenue of 1,755 quid. So win for us, win for the customers. We cover our costs and we give something for the customers. We had 8 5-star reviews for service, 7 5-star reviews for product, and 2, that's on FIFA, and 2 Google 5-star reviews. Let's have a look at anything else. Let's see if I can just get James's revenue, because revenue was pretty strong for both sites, was plus. James at store. This is riveting. Riveting, I tell you. Info. James at store. Here we go. Let's have a look. Revenue check for October so far. No, we don't need that. We will find out. Like I say, it's revenue. It's riveting podcasting for you. Right, okay, here's a revenue check. True period revenue was £84,794.92 for including VAT, and we actually took £87,824.46. So we was a positive £3,029.54. So good stuff there. True period revenue at Beverley was £15,069.87, and we actually took £16,071.84. So we was positive £1,001.97. Dudes, dudettes, that is it for me. I am over and out. And yeah, we've got another super duper episode. Let's have a look. What have we got? So we've got, oh yeah. I've made another offer, and it's for a container site. It's an outdoor site this time. So yeah, I've made another offer. Check it out, my friends. That's coming out on Friday, and tells me I've already I've recorded it. So that's good news for me. Okay, guys, girls, thank you so much. I do appreciate you all. Love all your messages and stuff, and I know I've got loads of emails to get back to. So I will try to get around. Well, I'll definitely get around to doing them. But yeah, apologies if you've been waiting like 2 months for me, because I'm still trying to catch up from bloody August. All right. See you soon. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.